Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We were studying the topic of fixed assets or property, plant, and equipment. When we started this topic, we started with the basic definitions that we will be using during this whole topic. First, we started with the definition of property, plant, and equipment, and we saw that these are the tangible items that are held for use in the production or supply of goods or for rental to others or for administrative purposes and are expected to be used more than one accounting period. That was the basic definition of property, plant, and equipment, or we can say fixed asset. And then we studied the useful life of an asset, and we saw the recognition criteria of an asset. And the recognition criteria was that there are two conditions that needs to be fulfilled in order for an item of property, plant, and equipment to be recognized as an asset. And those two conditions were that, like, first one is it is probable that the future economic benefits associated with the item will flow to the entity, to the business entity. And the second condition was that the cost of an item can be measured reliably. So that was the recognition criteria that we studied. And then we saw the measurement criteria. Measurement criteria was that the item of property, plant, and equipment shall be recognized at its cost, shall be recognized as an asset at its cost. So the cost is the major element. And then we saw the definition of cost and different examples of the cost. Just to recall, the cost is the amount of cash or cash equivalents paid at the time of acquisition of any item of property, plant, and equipment. So that was the definition of cost, and we saw multiple examples. What are the elements of cost that will make up the total cost of the fixed assets? So those are the things that we have seen so far, and today we are going to see an example in which we'll see how the cost of the property, plant, and equipment will be computed, and what will be the recognition entries, means the accounting entries to recognize the item of property, plant, and equipment or fixed assets in the books of accounts. हम जो टॉपिक पढ़ रहे थे वो थे फिक्स एसेट का, और प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट भी कह सकते हैं उसको, ठीक है। जैसा कि हमने देखा अपनी लास्ट टू वीडियोस में, हमने स्टार्ट किया था बेसिक डेफिनेशन से। और बेसिक डेफिनेशंस जो हैं, सबसे पहले तो प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट की डेफिनेशन हमने देखी, और उसमें हमने ये देखा कि प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट आर टेंजिबल आइटम्स दैट आर हेल्ड फॉर यूज इन द प्रोडक्शन और सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज or for administrative purposes, or for rental to others, and they are expected to be used for more than one accounting period। ठीक है, ये तो डेफिनेशन थी जो प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट, इक्विपमेंट की हमने देखी। इसके साथ साथ हमने यूजफुल लाइफ की डेफिनेशन देखी थी। यूजफुल लाइफ ऑफ एन एसेट क्या होती है? यूजफुल लाइफ ऑफ एन एसेट वो पीरियड जिसमें एंटिटी जो है वो एसेट को यूज करे, वो उसकी यूजफुल लाइफ होती है। उसके डिफरेंट मेथड्स भी हो सकते हैं, नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स के हिसाब से भी उसको मेजर कर सकते हैं, और उसको जो है उसको टाइम के हिसाब से भी मेजर कर सकते हैं। तो ये हमने देखा था। फिर हमने ये देखा था कि रिकग्निशन क्राइटेरिया एसेट का क्या है। एसेट को रिकग्नाइज करने के लिए दो कंडीशंस होती हैं, ठीक है। वो दो कंडीशंस ये हैं कि नंबर वन इज एंड इट इज प्रोबेबल दैट economic benefits associated with the asset will flow towards the business entity and the cost can be measured reliably। so ये दो conditions हैं। अगर ये conditions fulfill होंगी तो कोई भी item of property, plant and equipment as an asset recognize हो सकता है, ठीक है। अगर ये conditions meet नहीं होंगी तो फिर वो recognizable नहीं होगा, ठीक है। अच्छा, recognition criteria के बाद हमने ये देखा था कि किस अमाउंट पे उसको मेजर करना है। तो उसका क्राइटेरिया ये था कि दैट विल बी मेजर्ड एट कॉस्ट। एन आइटम ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट विल बी रिकग्नाइज एज एन एसेट एट इट्स कॉस्ट। तो हमने फिर कॉस्ट को देखा था कि कॉस्ट की डेफिनेशन हमने पढ़ी थी। ब्रीफली मैं बता दूं आपको कि कॉस्ट की डेफिनेशन, कॉस्ट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ कैश और कैश इक्विवेलेंट्स दैट आर पेड फॉर एक्विजिशन ऑफ एन एसेट, ठीक है। एसेट को एक्वायर करने के लिए जो कैश और कैश इक्विवेलेंट पे करें वो उसकी कॉस्ट है, ठीक है। फिर हमने कॉस्ट के कंपोनेंट देखे थे, उसमें क्या हो सकता है, हमने देखा था परचेज प्राइस होगी उसमें, और उसमें कोई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट होगी, उसमें कोई इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटीज हो सकती हैं, उसमें नॉन रिफंडेबल टैक्सेस हो सकते हैं, और बहुत सारी और एलिमेंट्स है जो हमने देखे, इंस्टॉलेशन कॉस्ट हो गई, असेंबली कॉस्ट हो गई, ये सारी चीज़ें हमने देखी थी। आज की इस वीडियो में हम ये देख रहे हैं कि एक एग्जाम्पल देखेंगे जिसमें हम ये देखेंगे कि जो प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट आइटम्स होते हैं उनकी कॉस्ट को कैसे कंप्यूट करते हैं, और हम ये देखेंगे कि उसको रिकग्नाइज कैसे करते हैं, यानी कि उसकी अकाउंटिंग एंट्रीज हम देखेंगे। Let's move to the example. So I've created this example just to show you how the cost of the items of property, plant and equipment will be measured, and then we will see how it will be recognized in the books of accounts, means the accounting entries. Okay, so let's go through it. ABC company is engaged in manufacturing of different houseware items. They purchased a machine to be used in their production process at a list price of rupees 300,000 with a trade discount of 10%. The credit terms of this transaction says 2% discount will be given if paid within 10 days, and the total credit limit is 30 days. So this is the credit terms of the transaction. In addition, they are saying sales tax was paid at the rate 5% of net price. So there is a sales tax. Okay. The company also paid the following while installation of the machinery at their factory. So company purchased the machinery and they were like installing that machine at their factory, and while doing that they incurred some of the costs. We'll see what they have incurred. Number one, it is freight of rupees 25,000. B, installation cost incurred rupees 40,000. C, insurance premium paid of rupees 50,000 against any damage or calamity. And number four, we have during installation, a small part of the machine got damaged and repair expense of rupees 15,000 was incurred to rectify this part. Okay, so this is the information we are given, and in which a company is purchasing a machine and they are installing it in its factory, and while installation they incurred some of the cost, and all this information is given to us. Now the requirement that we have is measure the cost of machinery that needs to be recognized as fixed asset in the books of accounts, and number two is prepare necessary journal entries for the above transactions and prepare T account for fixed asset machinery. Okay, so these are the requirements. First requirement is that we need to see how the cost will be computed. And the cost, we all know that fixed assets will be recognized at its cost. So first step would be to compute the cost of this fixed asset. Okay, we all know that the machinery is a fixed asset. It's an item of property, plant and equipment. So let's compute its cost. So here what I did is I computed the cost, and this is like measurement of cost. First of all, we'll see the list price, and all these amounts are in rupees, and the list price is 300,000, and we were given the information that a trade discount of 10% is given on the list price. It means that our list price will be deducted, and it will be 90% because 10% is trade discount, and we all know that trade discount we never book in our books of accounts. We never recognize any trade discount in our books of accounts, so we'll simply deduct 10% from the list price, and this will give us 270,000. Okay, and after that I am assuming that in order to avail the cash discount, which is 2% if paid within 10 days, I'm assuming that this discount was availed. Means payment is done within 10 days. Okay, so this is my assumption. So I will further deduct this 2% cash discount from the list price, because from the definition, if I recall you, we all know that purchase price less any discounts or any rebates. So in order to compute the cost, we need to deduct all the discounts, okay, whether it be trade discount or cash discount. So we deduct it from the price. So this is the first item, cash discount. And then we have net cash price. On top of that, I have applied 5% sales tax, and I'm assuming that this sales tax is a non-refundable item, so that this is the reason why I'm adding this sales tax in the cost of the item of property, plant and equipment. Okay, so after adding the 5% of sales tax, which is computed actually on the net cash price, this is the 5% of 264,600, and the sales tax is 13,230. So price inclusive of sales tax will be 277,830. So this is the price at which machine is acquired. So this is the cost of the machine, plus we incurred some other items in bringing the machine to the factory. First of all, that will be the transportation or any freight that is incurred, because we will be transporting the machine from the place from where it was purchased to our factory. So some transportation costs must have been incurred. So we are calling it freight, and that is rupees 25,000. So we will be adding this 25,000 into the cost of the item of property, plant and equipment. So it will become part of the cost of machinery. Okay, and then once we brought it to our factory, we are installing this machine, and in the installation process, we incurred some cost. We must have given some cost, some amount to the people who were installing it. So that was 40,000. So this installation cost will also become part of the cost of property, plant and equipment, and it will be added into the cost of machinery. So these are the items that will be added into the cost. So total, it will give us to total cost of 342,830. So how I calculated: price inclusive of sales tax plus freight plus installation cost. So this is the total cost of my machinery at which I will recognize this machinery, this property, plant and equipment into the books of accounts. And I have ignored some of the items for the purposes of cost, and those were like insurance premium paid for rupees 50,000. So this insurance premium is just a cost in insurance expense. It will not be counted into the cost of the machinery, because this, as per definition, this is not any directly attributable cost. Okay, so this is an expense, so I will not include this amount into the cost of the fixed asset. Second thing is that I ignored in this computation of cost is the repair expense. Like during the installation, a small part of the machine was damaged, and a repair expense of 15,000 was incurred just to rectify that part. So this 15,000 will not be included in the cost of the machinery, because it's a repair expense. As per the definition of the cost, this will not be included in the cost of the property, plant and equipment. So that's why I ignored these two amounts, the insurance premium and the repair expense. So my cost of machinery will be, that will be recognized in the books of accounts as an asset, as a fixed asset, will be 342,830. So मशीनरी की कॉस्ट कंप्यूट हमने करनी है. सबसे पहले हम इसकी लिस्ट प्राइस देखेंगे. लिस्ट प्राइस है हमारे पास 300,000 और हमें ट्रेड डिस्काउंट मिला है 10% का. तो सिंपली ट्रेड डिस्काउंट तो हम कहीं बुक ही नहीं करते अपनी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में, तो हमें पता है कि वो तो हम उसकी तो कोई अकाउंटिंग एंट्री भी नहीं होती, तो हम उसको सिंपली डिडक्ट कर देंगे. ये 10% जो है 30,000 मैंने डिडक्ट किया ट्रेड डिस्काउंट. उसके बाद मेरी अजम्पशन ये है कि यहाँ पे जो हमें कैश डिस्काउंट ऑफर किया गया है, इफ़ वी विल पे विद इन 10 डेज, तो हमने कैश डिस्काउंट जो अवेल करने के लिए ये पेमेंट 10 डेज के अंदर कर दी है, और ये हमें कैश डिस्काउंट भी मिल गया है। तो कैश डिस्काउंट हमें मिला, तो कैश डिस्काउंट हमें पता है कि जो परचेज प्राइस होती है उसमें से कैश डिस्काउंट जो है वो हम डिडक्ट करते हैं एसेट की कॉस्ट कंप्यूट करने के लिए, तो हम ये कैश डिस्काउंट भी डिडक्ट कर देंगे। तो ये मैंने कंप्यूट किया है 270,000 पे 2%, और 2% है 5,400, तो ये कैश डिस्काउंट भी मैंने डिडक्ट कर दिया। ये उसके बाद मेरे पास आ गई नेट कैश प्राइस। नेट कैश प्राइस के ऊपर मुझे पता है कि मैं एक सेल्स टैक्स पे करूंगा एट द रेट ऑफ 5%, और मेरी अजम्पशन ये है कि ये सेल्स टैक्स जो है रिफंडेबल नहीं है, तो इसलिए इसको भी मैं कॉस्ट ऑफ द एसेट के अंदर इंक्लूड कर लूँगा। ठीक है, ये 5% मैंने कंप्यूट किया है दिस ऑन दिस 264,600। ठीक है, ये आ गया मेरे पास 13,230। सो प्राइस इंक्लूसिव ऑफ सेल्स टैक्स विल बी 277,830। तो ये वो प्राइस है जो मुझे परचेज प्राइस एसेट की मुझे पड़ी। इसके बाद मैंने कुछ और आइटम्स जो है इसमें इंक्लूड करने हैं, और वो मैंने देखा कि इस मशीन को ट्रांसपोर्ट करने के लिए कुछ कॉस्ट इनकर हुई, जो कि फ्रेट है। जहाँ से मैंने मशीन परचेज की होगी वहाँ से फैक्ट्री तक लाने के लिए कोई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इनकर होगी, कोई फ्रेट इनकर हुआ होगा, वो है 25,000 रुपीज़। तो वो फ्रेट भी जो है कॉस्ट के अंदर शामिल हो जाएगा, मशीन की कॉस्ट में शामिल हो जाएगा। क्यों? इसकी डेफिनेशन आपको याद कराऊं कि कोई भी परचेज प्राइस, इंपोर्ट ड्यूटीज, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, any directly attributable cost to bring the asset to its present location or condition uh, for its intended use, ये उसकी डेफिनेशन है। तो ये ट्रांसपोर्टेशन भी उसमें शामिल हो जाएगा। इसी के साथ साथ हमारे पास इंस्टॉलेशन कॉस्ट है। मशीन जब हमने परचेज की तो उसको इंस्टॉल करने में भी कुछ अमाउंट खर्च हुआ, वो है 40,000। 40,000 इंस्टॉलेशन कॉस्ट विल ऑल्सो बी इंक्लूडेड इन द कॉस्ट ऑफ द मशीनरी। ठीक है, इन सब को ऐड कर लेंगे तो हमारे पास टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ मशीन जो आएगी 342,830, और ये वो अमाउंट है जिस पे हम अपनी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में मशीन को एज एन एसेट रिकग्नाइज करेंगे। ठीक है, और अभी हम इसकी अकाउंटिंग एंट्रीज भी देखेंगे। ठीक है, so now let's move to the second part, which is prepare necessary journal entries for the above transactions and prepare T account for fixed asset machinery. So I've prepared the accounting entries and the T account. So one by one we'll see the accounting entries. So these are the journal entries. All amounts are in rupees. This is debit. This is my credit column. So first entry would be for the purchase price after deducting the trade discount, which is 300,000 minus 30,000, 10%. So it gives me 270,000. So the first entry would be machinery or fixed asset account will be debited and accounts payable will be credited. So this is to recognize the machinery as fixed assets. Number two entry is like just to pay this liability and avail the cash discount. So I will debit the accounts payable. I will eliminate the liability by crediting the accounts payable with 270,000, and then I will deduct or credit the amount of cash discount from the machinery account. Okay, because this needs to be deducted from the cost of machinery. So I credited the machine account of fixed asset by 5,400, and the remaining is the payment amount which we paid to the supplier from which the machinery was purchased. So that was the second entry. The third entry was the sales tax amount, which is 5% on the 5% on the net cash price, and I'm assuming this sales tax is non-refundable. As a result, I'm adding it to the machinery account. So I debited the machinery fixed asset account and I credited the bank. So that was my third entry. And my fourth entry would be regarding the freight cost. So this freight cost will become part of the cost of the machinery. So I debited the machinery fixed asset account and I will credit the bank account because the payment is made from the bank. So this is for the freight cost, and this freight cost will become part of my cost of machinery. Then I have this installation cost, and since the installation cost, as per the definition of the cost, will become the cost of item of property, plant, and equipment, I am debiting machinery fixed asset account, and I will credit the bank. So these are the entries that will be hitting my machinery account, fixed asset account. Okay, so these are the entries, and there are some more items, two more items. One was prepaid insurance. So prepaid insurance, this is like an insurance paid for 1 year. If you see here, insurance premium paid for rupees 50,000 against any damage or calamity. So what I am assuming that this is for 1 year, and since we are just recognizing the machinery as an asset, so it will cover a period of 1 year. So that's why I am recognizing this amount as prepaid insurance, and over the period of 1 year this amount will be expensed out in my profit and loss account. Initially it should be recorded as a prepaid insurance, and the payment is done from the bank, so I'm crediting the bank. Over the period of time, this prepaid insurance, so all know that prepaid insurance is an asset, is a current asset that will eventually be uh, expense out in my profit and loss account. So after 1 year, this 50,000 which is appearing as prepaid insurance will become zero, and in the profit and loss account you will have the insurance expense as 50,000. So this is a next entry for the insurance item, and then the last entry would be for the repair expense. That repair expense was done in order to rectify one of the part which got damaged during the process of installation. So we incurred some repair expense. So this repair expense will be immediately expense out, and it will not become the part of my cost of machinery. That's why I recognize an expense. So my expense is debited, repair expenses debited by 15,000 rupees, and cash or bank can be credited by 15,000. So these are the accounting entries, and uh, for the above transactions. And also see the T account. I have prepared a T account for this fixed asset machinery. So first of all, uh, we start with the uh, price, that is after the trade discount. So this is posted here as 270,000. Then we have sales tax amount, then we have freight amount, then we have installation amount. So all these will become part of the cost of machinery. And then we have a cash discount which was deducted from the cost of the machinery, which is 5,400. So we have the cost in this account. This is a fixed asset account of machinery, and the cost of this machinery will be 342,830, which we computed in our first step. So this is how the T account will look like for this fixed asset machinery item. सो इस वीडियो में हमने ये देखा कि जो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट है वो कंप्यूट कैसे होगी, और उसमें कौन कौन से एलिमेंट्स इंक्लूड किए जाएंगे, ये हमने एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू देखा. फिर हमने ये भी देखा कि उन आइटम्स की अकाउंटिंग इंट्रीज कैसे होगी, और फिर हमने टी अकाउंट में ये देखा कि जो कॉस्ट हमने कंप्यूट की थी फर्स्ट स्टेप में, वही टी अकाउंट भी वही कॉस्ट शो करता है. ठीक है, ये आज की एग्जाम्पल है, और इस वीडियो को अब मैं कंक्लूड करता हूँ. So if you have any questions, you can comment on the video. I'll be happy to respond those questions, and I will request you to subscribe this channel if you have not already done. Thank you.